Ta ki ri 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 ri. Ta ki ri 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 ri. Ta ki ri 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 re 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 re. Atong kucha ukuitiak yana magri wa wa re 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 re. Re 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 re. Mana pa hurishatia guarmi wawa ri ri ri. Kucha yana kucha ukuitia.
The forest, with all its species, is like where the memory is stored, like the hard drive, let's say, out there, an external hard drive or something. The memory is not in their heads. It's actually, the history is recorded in the trees and in the land. And so when they go out in the forest, that's when the memory comes alive. The songs that they have are in response to the species. The humor that they have is in response to the species. The stories, the history is in response to what they see out there. Paninya aska uyaskani kari manda mana uyamchicha.
Kaya tungruya. Paiba amuyugan.
Amuy.
Sacha runatian. Sacha run.
David says that these large trees have owners, and those are the owners of the forest. So these large trees are the homes of the forest people, the Sacharuna, Sachawarmi. And so when you cut down the tree, these are their home, and so they get sad because they lose their home, and they go away looking for other places farther away where there are large trees. And they're the ones that keep the forest alive. So you'd get what's called in English the empty forest syndrome, where the animals and plants disappear.
Dr. Todd Swanson teaches at Arizona State University. He owns a reserve deep in Ecuador's Amazonian rainforest. It's located at the very intersection of indigenous religion or spirituality, community, and the environment.
So I wanted to create a place where we could bring together graduate students and like-minded faculty working on a whole variety of issues in an interdisciplinary way around the knowledge that comes from the forest. Biologists, anthropologists, linguists. And then it would focus on the indigenous people we would bring to the site, and it has to have forest around it. So what we see here in the middle is the river, this white. This is the Yaculindus, which is the bank of the river.
Swanson calls the Quechua Indians who work at his reserve narrators, or witnesses. They explain how their worldview, their identity, and their happiness all are tied to their social relationship with the forest.
People who live off the land, who don't have much technology, who believe that the plants and animals are alive. Plants and animals that can be dangerous, that can get angry, that can fall in love, do all these different kinds of things. People who live in relation to this natural world in a way that has been lost to some extent in the technological world.
But that relationship is under siege. Nearby, tourism grows. Youth flock to the internet. Men leave in search of jobs. The forest is irresistible, offering income to the poor, land to the landless. Swanson himself is an agent of change. He works to digitally preserve Quechua language and custom, but introduces modern ideas and technology. All of these forces conspire to diminish the forest itself and the Indians' deep spiritual and social relationship with it, especially the men.
Or it's been harder for men to hold on to their connection to the land in some way than for women. Traditionally, the family was a kind of complementary exchange between male tasks and female tasks. That was one of the things that impressed me about David. He said, it used to be that young women would be attracted to men whose faces were beautifully painted like his was painted. He says it used to be that those girls would be attracted, they'd look for a man who was a good hunter. And then he said, but not now. What young women want now is a man who can get a good job, a man who can have a house, a man who can buy a car. That's really where the power to provide is. That's the security now, is a man with education.
Swanson's 12-year-old son is sick, and he's asked David to sweep the boy of illness. Traditionally a male task, even this is challenged by modernity.
How about your head? Did you take an ibuprofen?
If David negotiates his changing relationship with the forest, other Quechua Indians seek to defend it and their communities. Just a few hours from Swanson's reserve is Sarayaku. I got to know Sarayaku through this man, Gerardo Walinga. He's the chief of security here.
Sarayaku es una comunidad quichua con un territorio de 135,000 hectáreas de selva virgen. Somos dueños absolutos de nuestro territorio. Somos 1,200 habitantes. Tenemos 7 escuelas, 7 comunidades, un colegio. Nos identificamos como un gobierno autónomo.
The community is bound together by its non-violent resistance to the Ecuadorian government and foreign companies that want to drill for oil here. I stayed with Gerardo's extended family. His 92-year-old father is a shaman, or high priest. It was from people like his father that Gerardo learned reverence for the forest.
Ellos son los mensajeros que nos han dicho que tenemos que proteger la naturaleza porque ellos saben, ellos ven en las visiones que en las montañas, en otras montañas, se conectan espiritualmente como telaraña. Son las protecciones que nos dan. Son gente, o sea, no podemos visualizar así con simple vista. Nosotros podemos ver con ayahuasca que hay gente que vive, el amazanga, el rey de la selva, que nosotros decimos, o el dios de la selva, los jurijuris que están en las lagunas, son gente que está protegiéndonos, son espíritus vivos, los árboles grandes donde hay miles de espíritus vivientes. Entonces, esos son sagrados para nosotros, no podemos destruir.
It's an important day in Sarayaku. Gerardo coordinates a meeting between community leaders and their attorney to discuss strategy in the struggle to keep the government and the oil corporations out.
Y eso no se ha dado. El pueblo de Sarayaku está viviendo esa amenaza por parte de las empresas petroleras. Los pueblos indígenas deben proponer, lograr un espacio oficial.
El otro tema es el de la consulta previa. Sí es algo en lo que deberíamos insistir y ponerle más énfasis, porque ya hemos tenido problema el mes pasado del ingreso de esa gente a hacer el estudio de impacto ambiental.
Gerardo and most of the Quechua understand what happened just north of here, where oil companies spoiled 1,500 square miles of virgin rainforest. Oil provided jobs, but ruined lives.
Ellos quieren destruir esto y sacar muy rápido el dinero. Y aunque tengas millonadas, ese dinero te va a acabar. Pero mientras esta selva que nosotros estamos pisando y donde vamos a morir, va a seguir de años hasta que no sé cuándo termine el mundo. El buen vivir está en mantener la selva intacto, animales, donde podemos cazar, toda la biblioteca, la farmacia que tú ves aquí en la selva. Eso es para nosotros lo importante.
What Gerardo calls buen vivir, the good way of living, is embodied in Ecuador's new constitution, which calls for a new form of harmony with the environment, protection of biodiversity, and innovatively extends legal rights to nature. And unlike David, Gerardo is militant about resisting the oil and the timber industries.
Tendrán que asesinarnos a todos para poder ingresar acá. Mientras estamos viviendo, no lo vamos a permitir, aunque entre el mejor ejército del mundo.
They say that if you walk in the forest regularly, they say that the forest knows you, not just that you know the forest. With time, you take on the odor of the forest, sort of the look of the forest, and then the animals and the birds aren't afraid.
Swanson calls this communion with the forest the shared self, and it means when you are one with the forest rejoices. But when you are not, the forest weeps.
Mana pahurishati aguarmi wawa ri kucha yana kucha ukuitiag magri wawa re.
You who live in the lake, you live in the dark, black lake, mother and child, mother of the lake, don't make me sick with this pahuyana. Don't make me sick. The one who lives in the tree, the mother who lives in the tree, don't make me sick with your power.
Mana pahurisha kausak hituru nachaniya ri.
This is Bill Gentile reporting.